My family and I just came home from a trip to Legoland and I noticed water in the garage where my car's parked. And at first, I thought something was leaking out of Tesla. And I looked around my Tesla and I didn't find anything. And I just assumed it was from the rain outside after the tornado warning. Apparently, we get tornadoes in Vegas now. We walked in and we immediately noticed the water on the floor. And when we looked further into the dining room, there was a big puddle of water about an 8-inch deep. And that's when I heard water constantly running out of the toilet in the downstairs bathroom. So what happened was that the toilet bowl cracked over the weekend, and as it continued to leak, the toilet bowl continued to fill up. So the water just progressively spread from the bathroom, my YouTube studio, kitchen, the dining room, and then eventually to the living room. Was this preventable? Absolutely. And I could have shut the water off before we went on a family vacation. But this was the first time something like this ever happened after 8 years of living in this house. What sucks even more is that my YouTube studio is completely ruined. And the floor in that office is the only part of the house that had carpet in there. Because the water leaked so much, it went through the wall of my office and then into the garage. I called it Las Vegas Water Damage Cleanup Emergency Services, and they showed up within the hour. And because it was like 8 o'clock at night, they cleaned up what they could for 3 hours and then went home. They came back the next day and tore the carpet and the padding underneath out because it was severely damaged by the water. And because of the smell and how much is spread throughout the house, and looking at how swollen these baseboards got, I would say this leak started to happen right after we left for Legoland on Friday or Saturday. Now we're more concerned with mold, and these fans are gonna run for several days until they get dried. I just need to take a deep breath and say, Woosah. So I'm not sure if I can consistently make videos for the upcoming weeks, but I'm going to try like I'm doing now. And I'm a financial coach, and I've been teaching people to prioritize their emergency funds for something exactly like this. And my homeowner's insurance deductible for an unexpected flood in my house is $1,000. And step 2 of my fire checklist says to save your emergency fund up to your total deductibles. The most common deductibles are your medical, car insurance, and homeowner's insurance. My wife and I have a fully funded emergency fund for up to 6 months of total expenses. Is it stressful to deal with something unexpected? Absolutely. And I hate the situation I'm dealing with right now because I need to get new flooring, new baseboards, and new furniture, right? But knowing that we have plenty of cash reserve in our emergency fund, we didn't need to panic financially. I guess we're more so dealing with the emotional side of losing things in our house. You can download this, the Financial Independence Checklist for free by visiting firesuchat.com/contact. What I want you to do today is to look into your homeowner's insurance policy. If you lose your entire home today, is your homeowner's policy going to cover the cost of your home's estimated market value? And if you bought your house 5 years ago, the value of your home has likely increased, right? You want to make sure you have the coverage to replace your home at the current market value, and you can also choose to increase your deductible to lower your monthly premiums. I increase my deductible because something like this only happens every 8 years, hopefully, knock on wood. The last thing you want to face is paying significant out-of-pocket costs to repair or rebuild your home. And I'm going to use my homeowner's insurance policy as an example, and it's pretty standard coverage for a single-family home. The first part is your dwelling and attached structures like your garages and decks. This is where your insurance company can help you rebuild your repair damage to the physical structure of your home. It could be caused by fire, smoke, lightning strikes, winds, hail, explosion, vandalism, theft, ice or snow, any falling objects, or even like another vehicle or airplane crashing into your home. Make sure to check with your insurance company and find out what type of hazards are covered by dwelling insurance. What's usually not covered is flooding or earthquakes, and you will need to purchase a separate policy for those hazards. The second part of your coverage is other structures in your home, such as your fence, a detached garage, sheds, or your swimming pool. So you could have $300,000 in dwelling coverage, which is your physical home, and another $30,000 in coverage for your unattached structures on your property. And if you have a pool, you might want to review this part of the coverage to make sure you have enough protection to repair or replace your pool. The third part of your coverage is your personal property, and this coverage will help replace the belongings inside your home. So stuff like your furniture, electronics, clothing, or anything else that's damaged. Make sure to take pictures of every item that's damaged so you can attach them to your claim. The fourth part of your coverage is loss of use or access to your dwelling. It can help you pay for the additional costs you might have for housing and living expenses if your house becomes temporarily uninhabitable while it's being repaired or rebuilt. Think of it like giving you an allowance to live in a hotel or temporary housing, transportation, and food. You can't use this coverage to pay for your mortgage or insurance because you're still responsible for those expenses. If your kitchen needs to be repaired and now it's costing you more to eat out, then this is where loss of use coverage comes into play. And the fifth part of your coverage is personal liability for property damage and physical injury to others. And personal liability insurance is financially protecting you that may pay for claims of physical injuries and property damage sustained by others. So if your kid throws a baseball into your neighbor's house and your dog ate your neighbor's flowers, or your friend falls down some stairs in your house, it's going to cover the medical bills for the guy or girl who fell down the stairs and legal expenses from lawsuits or any injuries or damage caused by your pets. And the sixth part of your coverage is medical payments to others in your homeowner's insurance. This is to basically have the insurance company make medical payments to someone else who was injured at your home, regardless of who is at fault. And the typical range for the medical payments coverage is between $1,000 and $5,000. And every one of you homeowners should have a homeowner's insurance policy. Paying $1,000 a year, $2,000 a year, or $5,000 a year on your insurance is so worth it if something like this happens to you. The flood in my home was unexpected, and this is why we have an emergency fund for something like this, and this is why we have a homeowner's insurance for something like this. And a lot of people are worried about losing their cash to inflation just by parking it in a savings account, but I can tell you that when something unexpected happens, you'll be so thankful that you have $20,000 or $30,000 set aside in your emergency fund. It's devastating to see your home completely flooded. Trust me, I know this. I'm devastated. Just imagine all of your valuable items or things with sentimental values are destroyed, right? I want you to be prepared for something like this. And it really sucks to see my YouTube studio that I spent almost a year building underwater. But on the bright side, I get to rebuild it and start over from scratch. By the way, if you already signed up for the financial coaching session, I will honor those appointments. I just have to decrease the number of appointments available until I get the studio fixed again. But if you need help with your personal finances, like budget, savings, and investments, or maybe saving for your emergency fund, you can still schedule a free one-on-one 20-minute financial coaching session by visiting firesidechat.com/coaching. And I'm going to have a calendar link available on that website. And if you want to know more about how to save for your emergency fund, I want you to check out these two videos. So with that said, I appreciate you watching my video. If you got some value out of this video, let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll see you hopefully in the next video. Have a good one.